Hi everybody, welcome to Shivers Speaks. For our Artist of the Month this December, we are highlighting the band Ice Nine Kills and its main member, Spencer Charnas. Ice Nine Kills was founded in the year 2000 under the name of Ice Nine by high school friends Spencer Charnas and Jeremy Schwartz in Boston, Massachusetts. In 2002, they recorded a demo, which would eventually be released in 2009, entitled The Pop Punk Ska Years. They changed their name to Ice Nine Kills just before releasing their debut independent album, Last Chance to Make Amends, on April 20th, 2006. The following year, on November 20th, 2007, Ice Nine Kills released their EP, The Burning, through Red Bull Records. The band then set out on several national tours in support of the EP, including opening slots on tours with I See Stars and I Set to Kill, among other bands. By 2008, the group had been invited to open for well-known acts such as I Lay Dying, A Day to Remember, Paramore, and a one-off performance on the Taste of Chaos 2009 tour. In mid-2009, Schwartz left the band after struggling with life on the road, leaving Charnas as the only original member. He then recruited former members of the band Remember Tomorrow, which had recently disbanded. This shifted the Ice Nine Kills sound into more of an experimental metalcore sound, to which Ferret Music, a record company, took notice. The label signed the band in spring of 2009, and after their appearance on Warped Tour 2009, the band began writing and recording their next record. They released their second full-length album, Safe Is Just a Shadow, on July 12, 2010. The album received praise from heavy metal magazine Revolver, and the band was invited to attend the Revolver Golden Gods Awards in Los Angeles, California on April 20th, 2010. The band supported this new album with a 2-week appearance on Warped Tour 2010 and opened for the new metal band Taproot. The band performed on their first headlining tour of summer of 2011. On May 12, 2012, it was announced that the band would be opening for the 2012 edition of the All-Stars Tour, which featured Suicide Silence, The Word Alive, Dance Gavin Dance, I See Stars Again, and Attila. On November 22, 2012, they launched a Kickstarter campaign to raise money to fund their new EP. On December 22nd, exactly 1 month later, they raised over $21,000 for their Kickstarter campaign, and that they announced that their new EP, The Predator, would be released on January 15th, 2013. To celebrate this announcement, they released a second single from the EP entitled What I Never Learned in Study Hall, featuring guest vocals from Tyler Carter, who was the old vocalist for Issues. In 2014, they released their next album, The Predator Becomes the Prey, through a subsidiary of Fearless Records, along with music videos for a number of punk goes pop songs, which put them more on the map. Due to the success of this album, Ice Nine Kills headlined Warped Tour 2014 and was on for the entire tour, not just 2 weeks this time. In 2015, the band released Every Trick in the Book, their next album, through Fearless Records directly. This album featured songs about horror classics and books, which was really the beginning to Ice Nine Kills cementing themselves into the horror genre for good. Wage War and The White Noise, 2 different metalcore bands as well, were signed to Fearless Records at the same time, kicking off a Fresh Faces tour with all 3 of these bands, hosted by Fearless Records. On June 20th, 2018, Ice Nine Kills released The American Nightmare, the first single from their 5th studio album, The Silver Scream. It was accompanied by a music video inspired by the film A Nightmare on Elm Street, and really put the theatrics into this band. Not only now are they focusing on just horror songs and lyrics and movies, but now they're really putting in their own version of a horror film to accompany this album. The Silver Scream was released on October 5th, 2018, and marked the band's highest chart debut to date. This album almost scanned 19,000 copies in its first week, landing the band their first top 10 records on the Billboard Top Album chart. It features 13 songs inspired by 13 separate horror films. The band went through a series of member changes from 2018 to 2020, and in 2021, they released a theatrical follow-up to The Silver Scream, called The Silver Scream 2, Welcome to Horrorwood. In 2023, Ice Nine Kills won Rock Sound Awards 2023 Best Live Act, and Spencer Charnas created the Silver Screen Horror Con, hosted each year in the New England, Massachusetts area, serving as a horror convention for rock and horror movie fans alike. Ice Nine Kills, for me, has always been a pretty high band. I saw them for the very first time at Warped Tour 2018, and this is when the Silver Scream first came out, so they were focused on all the songs from this album. And I had listened to the previous one that was all about the horror books, and there's one specifically about The Exorcist called Communion of the Cursed. That, and then another song about Pennywise are my two favorites. But I think that Ice Nine Kills really set themselves up for success by truly putting themselves in the niche now of really focusing on songs about horror movies. They were the ones who were asked to do a specific song for Terrifier 3, and that's because of the reputation that they've built themselves. So I personally think that some of the theatrics have taken me out of just the pretty hardcore songs about horror movies, but I have to appreciate them for what they are. They are very niched, they're very good at what they do. They have grown to create not just concerts, but performances. And if you get the chance, I would always recommend going to see them live. It's, like I said, very theatrical, almost feels like a horror Broadway show, which is fun. But that is all about our Artist of the Month. So check out Ice Nine Kills. Let me know what your thoughts are of them as a band, them as their artistic taste, and really anything in between of what they've created. So, as always, thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.